For those that love to stomp on the throttle, spin the tires, and inch the tack into the red, there is no other place on earth quite like the Bonneville Salt Flats. A place where once the accelerator is pushed to the floor, you never lift. For many, including car enthusiast Bruce Meyer, the first step onto the perfectly hard and flat salt raceway is usually not the last, and often becomes a motorsports addiction.
I got bit by salt fever a couple of Octobers ago and promised that I would be back. And last year I turned 70 and I figured, you know what, if I'm ever going to run a Roadster, which is a dream, it's got to be pretty darn quick.
With a burning desire to find just the right Roadster, Bruce Meyer began his search, which in fact lasted right up until he found his ultimate 32.4.
Mike Brower, he and his dad had built the car a number of years ago and run the car, and then his father passed away and Mike kind of lost interest in it and called me to see if I knew some that might be interested in it. And I started thinking about it. Yeah, you know, let me have a look. This just might work for me. So I went out and I looked at the car. It was built by Mike Cook and Gary Brower. And that is a good pedigree, and they'd done well with the car. So it brought them a lot of happiness, so I figured, you know, I'm just going to give it a shot. I went out and looked at it and fell in love with the car and took it back to Mike, and here we are.
The potential of the 747 Roadster rested in the knowledgeable hands of Bonneville veteran Mike Cook and the blossoming driving skills of Bruce himself.
This car is capable of very high speeds and a very large motor. And what we're running now is we're starting out where we should start out, very conservatively, with it's basically a 427 Chevy engine. You know, my expectation is I would love to go 200 in a Roadster. If I want to set a record, I've got to go well over 200. But right now, I just want to have a safe, fun experience. I don't want to scare myself to death. And hopefully by the end of the meet, you know, I'll have top 200. That's my plan, and sticking to that.
Shooting for the big two was an enormous goal for any Bonneville driver. The experience of driving on a thin layer of hard salt comes only a few times each year.
For me, coming and running it a couple years ago was real special, and we went 222 in that beautiful 757 Camaro of Jack Rogers. But my experience thus far is that driving a closed car, like Jack's, which is a beautiful car, is probably going to be an easier car to drive than the Roadster. Talking to the Roadster drivers, it's going to be a much more demanding drive, more thrilling drive. I'm out in the open. You know, I just don't know exactly what to expect, but I expect it to be quite a bit more physical and mental and exhilarating. Talk to me in about an hour or two. $196. We're just kind of tickling 200. Stay tuned. We're going to see the top side of 200 yet.
Roadster, Bruce Meyer entry. Course 1, quarter mile, 199.
yeah, baby.
204?
204.
Good job. Congratulations.
You're a Roadster driver now. You're not supposed to see
It was great. I'm telling you, it's definitely over 200. It's a rock. You got to drive this thing.
Like so many goals Bruce Meyer has achieved throughout his life, 200 miles per hour in a Roadster has been and will be just another stepping stone to even greater land speed racing experiences. To sum it up,
For me, Speed Week has ended. It's been 3 fabulous days, a great learning experience. Reading Hot Rod magazine my whole life, and the idea of going 200 miles an hour in a Roadster is a dream. And of course, you go 200, then you want to go 205 and 210 and 215. And so we were hoping for a little more, but we had an engine problem, so that shut us down early. But the fact that my Speed had a 2 in front of it, I feel like we accomplished something today. The car ran great, and it's a beautiful car, and it deserves more speed, and 747 will be back, I can assure you. You haven't seen the last of us.